everybody, I'm Jess and I'm here with Audra, and today we are going to talk about colors and color mixing for edge finishing with Fiebing's Edge Kote. And if you're just starting on your edge finishing journey, I encourage you to check out our original tutorial that shows the steps for application if you're just getting started out with finishing your edges.
As we did with our first Edge Kote video, we're using Fiebing's and their Edge Kote line to finish the edges of our bags. We carry a wide variety of colors here at Sallie Tomato, in addition to the application tools you need. Today, we are going to venture into the really fun part of this. Well, it's all fun, but the really fun part of it and actually go into color mixing.
And you can find all the items that we talk about in this tutorial and the links below in the description of this video. So let's get started by going over all the supplies.
You will want to have Fiebing's Edge Kote roller pen, gum tragacanth, and your preferred Edge Kote finishing color, a protected work surface, a small mixing bowl, some toothpicks, a toothbrush, we use this to clean our roller pen, fine sandpaper, and paper towels. We have our Monroe bag here to show just how much fun you can have with color just as it comes out of the bottle. On the back, we did some great colors. We did orange trim on our strap connector, pink on our handle. You can see this incredible yellow that we did on our strap. And then we finished the entire bag with a beautiful blue edge. And with the rainbow hardware, it just truly takes this whole project to a fun new level.
I love how bold these colors are against the black, and I think this project is a really great example of using some of those colors to contrast with your fabrics and not always having to mix to blend it in.
As you can see, in the process, we got some pink on our gunmetal rectangle ring. That will scrape right off with your fingernails, so don't even fret at all if you get any of these amazing colors on your hardware. On this project, as we demonstrated in our initial Fiebing's Edge Kote tutorial, we did 3 coats of gum tragacanth as a base coat, and then we did 3 coats of color straight out of the bottle just as you would get it. Some spots, we want to do a 4th, we did, but that is complete personal preference. This is where you can really get super creative with your project, and every handmade project is unique, but this is really, really unique.
And like we mentioned in the initial tutorial video that we did, some of these pieces of the project were edge coated before we attached them to the bag. So during construction there was some edge coating, and then also after construction.
Yeah, make sure that you plan ahead. If it's a last minute birthday gift that you're trying to get done that day, might not be the best project to try edge coat on. So takes a little bit more time, but as you can see, it is just so incredibly worth it. So you can apply Fiebing's Edge Kote, like we said, straight from the bottom. We can also start to play and find that perfect color match. And so we're actually gonna start with our beige faux leather. We actually don't have a perfect match in any of these bottles to our beige faux leather. So we're gonna try to make the perfect color, all right? I'm gonna grab one of our little containers here, a little spoon with some toothpicks to have handy, a little piece of paper already. And then what we're gonna do is, this is kind of a unique color. So I think for sure, looking at what we have here, we're definitely gonna need white, because whatever we're gonna do, we're gonna need to lighten up. And I think we're gonna dive right in and try light brown. No, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna try brown. And we're gonna mix these two together and see if we can get the right color. If these been sitting a while, make sure you kind of give them a good shake, just to make sure nothing has set to the bottom. So I am gonna pour a little bit of brown in there. You can see there's my thing that I wanna clean up. This is kind of art class. This is, elementary school art class all over again. You're just gonna kind of play.
Well, honestly, painting is another one of my hobbies, so it's fun to paint while bag making.
Yeah. I mean, you can really make any color you want, which we're gonna get into shortly. I think I'm gonna need a fair amount of white to lighten this up. And as we mentioned in the last video, this is not permanent on your hands, so don't worry about it. So we're just gonna start to kind of mix this up and see where we end up. If it's not dark enough, we'll add a little bit more. If it's too light, we can add a little bit of dark. You might like that it's got a little bit of a darker tone. It's definitely in the right color family, and you might like that, or you might want to just add a little bit more white, which is what I'm gonna do.
And what's nice about having the full color range, if your fabric has a little bit more red tone or green or blue, you could always add a drop in to change the tone of the paint.
You can make it so unique to what you're doing. It kind of makes you want to own like all the colors. When you're mixing your colors, you definitely want to make sure you're mixing enough for your project. And the main reason for that is if you run out and have to mix more, we all know how it is when we're like painting our house. Then you
super hard to replicate.
Yeah, you run out of paint, you go back to the store, ask for another gallon of paint, and somehow it's just not the right color. I feel like Edge Kote is a little bit something like when we match threads, you kind of go like just one shade darker on your thread and it blends perfectly. This piece of faux leather I have here, we already have 3 coats of gum tragacanth on it, so it's ready for color. I think that we are pretty darn close. In hindsight, I probably could add a slight amount more of white, but I personally really love this look. It's kind of that like taupey color, which I think is just a beautiful classic color.
It's really nice to cover up the backing fabric as well with the paint.
Yeah.
And just have it all match.
All like just looks seamlessly. I mean, this is where you really get that designer look, you know, and you can do it all at home. And that's what's really incredible. And that's what we at Sallie Tomato want you to do. We want you to be able to make those beautiful bags you see at the store at home or for your friends, and then have them all just be amazed at your talent.
And although that this is a little time consuming with the dry time, it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to really level up the look of your bag.
Just don't be scared. If you don't have the exact right color, it doesn't take too much time. That took us less than a few minutes to mix up the perfect color. And again, make sure you make enough. And this is where those airtight containers come in. And because if you just stop mid-project, I'm just gonna take my little lid here and seal it on up. And then I can stop, let it dry, come back, and it's ready for me to do it. As you saw with our Monroe bag, we did some really, really fun colors on it. The Monroe pattern also has a little wallet that goes with it. So the Monroe pattern has both the little card case as well as the bag. So we are gonna make sure that this cute little guy matches the bag. So we kind of discussed, and we think we're gonna do like a teal color. As you can see, we don't have, but we're gonna make it.
I'm excited. It's gonna be really vivid on the black.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna pop. Teal, we're gonna start with blue and we're gonna start with green and see where that gets us. And this is where it can be any color you want it to be. It could be a light teal, it could be a dark teal. If it's dark teal, maybe we add a little black in. I already shook these up before we started, but just make sure you get everything shook, ready to go. So we're just gonna dive in and we're gonna go, okay, here's some blue. And that also means I'm gonna need to pour a little bit more green in than I intended. All right, so definitely you can see it's starting to kind of turn like a teal color. Ooh,
These are really pretty.
yeah, I'm starting to really like that.
Yeah. So I grabbed this Harbor faux leather. Look how fun.
Like it just shows the fun you can have. We have so many colors of faux leathers.
Yeah, my mind is going now because we have a periwinkle faux leather too, and you could make your own purple, add some white to really brighten it up. It's kind of nice that it coordinates with the Harbor if we wanted to do another
That's a great
project in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. We could even just cut out another little one quick and make another matching one, because I definitely have mixed up enough. This already, like our other project, has 3 coats of gum tragacanth on it, so it is already ready to go. What I learned when I did that one was it actually dried pretty easy if I just left it flat. It may stick a little bit to your protected surface, but you can peel it right up and clean up those edges and it'll be fine. Otherwise, what you can always do is maybe do like a half and half. You can maybe take a bottle, do half, let it dry, do the other half, let it dry, and just do it kind of in sections and whatever works for you, whatever you feel comfortable with.
You got to do all the fun color on the large Monroe.
I did. Oh, that color is so fun.
I love it.
That is a really, really fun color. Okay, yeah, so that color is an absolute winner.
You did a good job. Yeah, I'm noticing I'm getting a lot on the cardboard.
Yeah, and that's perfectly
and it's starting to go on the other edges.
Don't worry, we are gonna talk to that too. And then, so we'll just kind of lay this down on the cardboard and let it dry. And as it's drying, I'll show you how we can easily clean up those edges. When I made the Monroe, I cleaned up all the edges except for one spot, just so I could demonstrate for you how easy it is to clean up those edges once it dries. There is one little spot in here that I left that you can see a little bit of the blue is on the faux leather itself. Here I've got just a wet paper towel, and not wet, but just damp. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my finger in here, but you're just gonna scrape off this edge just a little bit, and you can see
it peels right off.
It peels right off. You're just gonna clean up that edge a little bit, and then that's it. And you can see there's a little bit on the table, but then that's all it is. As this one dries that we just painted, you'll see there's a little bit of bleed right there. Totally fine. I'm gonna do all 3 coats. Then when I'm done, I will go in and clean everything up.
And the faux leather surface is slick, so it peels off nicely, but on the sides with the backing fabric, it'll still be a nice strong bond on the edges.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we mentioned in the initial Edge Kote video, if you want to buff your edges, you absolutely can. It's just a clean microfiber cloth. I just use this at home to clean. And I'm just gonna go in here and just kind of buff up this edge. Total personal preference.
And I'm sure this is something that you can do periodically to keep it maintained and nice and shiny looking.
Yeah.
So to summarize all of this, we would like to share our top 5 tips for color matching with Edge Kote. Our first tip is to plan ahead. So it's a good idea to double check which pieces of the project you want. So if you need to cut out pieces ahead of time before the construction, to finish those before constructing your bag. The next tip is to mix those colors. You're definitely encouraged to use your art skills and try different blends of the colors to have a perfect match, or your own contrasting to have your own custom look. Our next tip is to have airtight containers ready. So these are perfect for mixing up your colors and preventing them from drying out for when you're ready to add on the next coat or work on your next project. Our next tip is to mix enough to finish the project you have planned. So this is really important to ensure that you don't have to go back and mix other colors, so that way you have a perfect match for your project as you continue. And our final tip is to be patient. So mixing colors can take a little bit of time to get the hang of, and don't worry if it doesn't turn out perfect the first time. It's a good tip to try it on a small project, just like we did on the Monroe card case, and you can get a handle for mixing the different colors. We really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and we're excited to see the projects that you make with finishing off your edges with Edge Kote. And if you'd like a refresher on how to apply Edge Kote, be sure to check out our other tutorial with all the tips, and it shows you the step-by-step process for applying the gum and all of the layers. If you decide to try Edge Kote, we would love to see your projects. Use the hashtag Sallie Tomato on social media so we can see it. And if you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because I have a feeling we're going to be doing more edge coating videos in the future. Let us know in the comments if you have any other questions, and we'll be there to help. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.